If we have a look at the previous cycle, so from 2020 to 2022, what we have seen is that layer ones have been the most performing overall. And among them, Fantom has been one of the greatest. Fantom was the house for all the people who were looking for high yield, deep liquidity, fast transactions, and also a place to find fun and entertaining protocols. Fantom just left the space because right now Fantom is not, and also FTM, that is the token, is not anymore here with us. What reborn, what is the new start is Sonic with the token S. What I want to talk with you today is which is the future of S. It has the capability to impose itself like becoming the new Fantom, not Fantom just like a chain, but Fantom as the role that Fantom had in the previous cycle. In the previous cycle, Fantom was one of the top 5 chains and one of the most performing if you were buying just the token. But let's dig into the matter. Let me share with you a couple of data, the chart, and so on. Just before going deeper, let me say this channel is just about educational content. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice, guys. That's so important. What I'm here just to tell you what I'm seeing in this market, what are my opinions, but nothing more. You have to take decisions about what is your portfolio strategy according to which is your profile risk and your own beliefs about this market. Okay, guys, don't forget also to leave us a big thumbs up, drop a comment. That's a small effort, but really helps me to get up with the YouTube algo, and I would really appreciate if you do that. Okay, let me share the screen with you. So here we are, DeFi redefined. So first of all, it's interesting to notice is that Sonic, when it comes to positioning itself under a branding point of view, it is saying we are here for DeFi. We don't care about anything else. They are not saying about DPing, about gaming, and so on. And at least in my opinion, that's a pretty good choice. Why? From one side, because their founders, Andrew Cronier, he has been, and he is still one of the main voices when it comes building protocols and logic in order to make the market, DeFi market, more efficient. And on the other side, the core of the community were about DeFi. So if the people were about DeFi, it is right, in my opinion, to push on that. And let's see how it will evolve. When it comes to Sonic, the main point is how fast this chain is. Because yes, it is about modularity, it's about earning fees and so on. But here, real sub-second confirmation times. And if we try to compare the performance of Sonic, at least in theory, because at the end of the story, one story is what you can promise, another story is what could really happen. In the moment when we will see so many transactions, we could say also that Sonic is really able to perform so well. But in theory, the top speed that could be reached by Sonic is superior to any other chain, and I would say not even by a small amount. Just to give an idea, Solana, it is able to perform just 1/5 of the transactions that Sonic could be able to perform. When it comes to Sonic, it's a chain AVM compatible, so it is compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, so you can use your classic wallet like Rabbi, MetaMask, or whatever, and it's into that ecosystem. The cost per transaction is pretty low, really low, I would say much lower than what we have seen with a Fantom. Just to give you an idea, it's like 1/10 of the cost, so it has been improving so much. And if we check also the price section, I would say that we can see something interesting. So first of all, what I want to show you is that in the previous cycle, Fantom has been one of the few to be able to reach the peak, not in November, yes, the first peak was in November, but it has been able to recover also in January. Why? Because Fantom as a project has been able to build a strong community of degen people who were using DeFi protocols in a more speculative way. These people usually are becoming more active during the last part of the cycle. So that's also another reason why I like that they didn't change their focus, but they kept the same. And also it can suggest that probably the most performing moment also for Sonic, so the S token, could be in the last part of this cycle. If we check how the market reacted to the announcement of the new chain, as you can see from here, it was July when we were knowing that the chain would have been live around December. It has been growing pretty steady. It has done something like a 4 or 5x. I mean, nothing too great, but not even something bad. From this peak in December, unfortunately, the token has been performing pretty badly. Just to give you an idea, it did something like a minus 78%. That's really a lot. And it's really a lot, specifically if you check the metrics in terms of TVL of Sonic. As you can see from this chart, the TVL has been growing in a way that is pretty impressive, going from 0, reaching fast something like about 700 million. So pretty good. I mean, it has already more TVL than Polygon, more than Optimism, more than Hyperliquid Chronos, and it's close to what Aptos has been able to build in a much longer way. At the same time, also stablecoin, it's an interesting metric, are accounting for 1/3 of the amount of the TVL. That's also an interesting point. And down here on DeFi Llama, you can find also all the different protocols that are still active on Sonic. One of the main protocols when it comes to Sonic has been Shadow Exchange. You can think to Shadow like a curve in terms of tokenomics. They are trying to use a 3-3 system where that basically, if you're new to this space, means that I'm giving you an incentive to stake your token in order to earn more. So you create this loop that is creating utility, at the same time is generating more yield. It's reducing the supply, and it's creating this kind of loop that is positive. Obviously, nothing goes up forever, but I would say that the market has been able to appreciate this kind of strategy. As you can see, from February, beginning of February to late February, the price of Shadow has been up by something like 40x. 40x, guys, that's really a lot. Obviously, after this kind of hype, the market has been correcting, losing about 70-75%. But by the way, keep an eye on Shadow, because if, and again, guys, only if Sonic will keep growing in terms of TVL, Shadow Exchange could do pretty well. One thing that you have to remember is that the FTV is much bigger than the market cap, and I mean, that could be something that we have to think about. At the same time, if we use also the TVL of Shadow, you will see that it had a peak in February, late February, and after that has been declining. Keep an eye also on this metric. As always, guys, remember that fundamentals metrics, TVL and so on, could hint something, but it's not always like that. Mainly because at the end of the story, to have a price doing 40x, it means price manipulation. It means price reflexivity. So people are buying just because other people are buying. And at a certain point, these kind of cycles are simply breaking, and we're seeing sharp drawdowns. So be aware of that. Don't just look at the metrics. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if the TVL on Shadow was keep growing while the price correcting. This kind of dynamics, specifically in a market that is pretty complex and pretty volatile like right now, I mean, that's something that the market could not reflect into the price. So TVL could grow and the price could not. At the same time, if we try to analyze also comparing to what we have seen into the market, for example, we have seen Sui, Aptos, or even other chains in the lately performing better than Sonic in terms of price, even if Sonic has been one of the few to really being able to grow a lot in terms of a TVL. So I mean, at the moment, probably in terms of how used is Sonic, because it has been, I mean, has been growing pretty a lot. If we try to use also the volume is still pretty decent. I mean, obviously it's going down, but I mean, that's pretty normal consider how bad is the market right now. Bridged value, this is also another interesting metric. As you can see, this is the amount of assets that are bridged from other chains to Sonic. And as you can see, this is increasing because basically at a certain point, a certain amount of coins are on chain, and you can move them to other chains according to where do you think that you will find a better liquidity, the better case, and where you will get the most of the value. And what we are seeing is exactly that the market is saying at the moment, at least the people who are using the chains. Fantom, in this case, has become Sonic, is a chain that is interesting to us. I want to add one thing, guys, because I heard many people saying that it's incredible how Sonic is performing pretty badly if we compare it with EDA, so Cardano, or other, I would say, more institutional chains like HBAR and so on. Guys, you have always to think about who is the customer. And as I told you at the beginning, when it comes to Sonic, the customer is retail. It's mainly retailers or whales and so on. It's not institutions. That's also the reason why we have seen with Fantom the price peaking in late of the cycle, so beginning of 2022, and not as most have done at late 2021. Just for your information, I'm using the chart of Fantom at the moment, not because this is the right token, the right ticker to buy if you want to get exposure to this project, so to do this chain, but just because it's giving me the whole history in order to compare the price, nothing else. If you want to, this is the right ticker that is called S, and this is the chart, but as you can see, the history is pretty short. So for this reason, I rather go for Fantom if I have to do an analysis, because it's giving me much more space and much more information. Obviously, the tokenomics has also changed slightly, the supply has changed, but basically the fundamentals are always the same. Going back to the topic about institutions and retailers, obviously when it comes to institution, if you are HBAR, I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't have TVL at the moment, because your main focus is closing partnerships with big brands, with big corporations, institutions, and so on, because in the coming years, these players will start using your chain, bringing TVL at that time into the chain. In the meanwhile, what is happening simply, the only thing that we care is developing the technology and closing partnerships. All the rest is absolutely nonsense. So don't listen to the people who are telling you this chain is shitty just because it doesn't have a TVL. Always ask yourself, who is the customer of that chain? Is it an institution or are retailers, like in this case? If retailers are the main focus, well, in that case, TVL and transactions matter. Otherwise, if it's just about institution, the only thing that matters is their capability to close partnerships and so on. So keep an eye on that, because we could see that chains, specifically at the beginning of the next, what we hope that will come, bull run, institutional chains could pump even without transaction, even without anything, just pushed by the ETF narrative and the Bitcoin reserve and stuff like that, while good chains in terms of retailers not growing just for the reason that I have just told you right now. Guys, let me know what you think about Sonic. That's the chain that in your opinion could succeed, could repeat the path that we have seen. I mean, this one has been insane. From here to here, it did like 184 times. So I mean, that's insane as a gain. And even if we take it just from here, it has been either something like 17 times. I don't think that Sonic will be able to do an 100x at the moment, because I mean, the market cap is already something like 2 billion. I don't think that Sonic will be able to reach 200 billion as a market cap, but definitely 20, 30, 40, 50 billions of market cap are reachable if the market will start and will push again, guys. I'm just trying to predict, to forecast, to analyze, to share what I'm thinking. Nothing what I say will, it has to play out. The market will decide who will win. You have to just be ready, proactive, do your own analysis, take your decisions that are the best for yourself, and let me know into the comment section what do you think about the Sonic and Shadow protocol, which is your favorite protocol on Sonic, and what do you think about that? Guys, don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up, drop a comment to the comment section. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye, guys.